Pat Troesch.
All right. How did you first get involved with the OATA?
I was actually a founding member of the OATA because I did research for my master's degree on Ohio high schools and athletic trainers and who had what and what kind of modalities and equipment they had and who had an athletic trainer. Kind of evolved from there.
What is the biggest change you've seen in athletic training?
Well, numbers, of course, and especially women being there's probably more women than men.
Mm-hmm.
Women were unheard of when I started.
Yeah.
The types of active people that athletic trainers take care of, it was just athletes, and because there were so few women athletes at that time, it's changed a lot because of that.
If you could change one thing in athletic training, what would it be?
Salaries, appreciation, compensation. I think athletic trainers still work way too hard and still aren't recognized for the effort they put in, and obviously for financial. I mean, I know lots of athletic trainers who, even at my age, are financially just strapped with trying to help their kids get through college, and their salaries are still so
Wow.
low.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have any pearls of wisdom for younger members?
Pearls of wisdom. I've talked about this a lot here in alumni parties, talking to former students. The best jobs are in high schools, so look for the high school jobs. That's where you're respected. I think that's where you're compensated. That's where you can make a life. You could be there forever instead of every 2 years being dissatisfied and thinking, I need to try something bigger or better. The high school people need you. Some of those student athletes, that's maybe the only health care they ever get, and you make a difference in their lives. So I don't know if that's a pearl, but
That is, I haven't heard that. What is one quote or phrase you are known for repeating throughout your career?
I'm not a big person on quotes and all that kind of stuff, but when I thought about this, there was one, I think we got a mug maybe from J&J one year at a conference, and it was something like, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I just thought that was, I think it's very important to show compassion and empathy for your patients and your athletes and the people you're teaching in any walk of life, regardless of how many degrees you have or, how educated you are.
Yes. What is your favorite memory from being involved in the OATA?
Probably, I have two. Okay, getting started, getting the profession off the ground, getting to do that with my mentors, and then just a month ago when we had the OATA 25th anniversary of the banquet, and getting to be involved in that picture of the remaining members that are alive, and there was the original 28. I was in two pictures, so being in those groups with the original 28 founding members, and then the Hall of Fame members and some of their family representatives.
Wow, that's awesome. What is the biggest challenge you've seen or experienced in your career?
I've had the opportunity to reinvent myself a lot of times. I started out as an athletic trainer, and then I became an athletic trainer educator. I used to say I had 2 half-time, full-time jobs, because when I got hired at Miami, I didn't realize I was going to be program director and assistant athletic trainer.
Wow.
So I've just evolved throughout trying to figure out how to do that, because I went to school, my degree is in health education. I was in the old internship, apprenticeship route to certification in athletic training. So trying to combine those 2 careers and figure out how to be a program director with a health education degree. And I did curriculum planning in my master's program, which I hated, and I used to complain about it, and then I used it in curriculum development for athletic training education. So I actually wrote my advisor a letter of apology and said, I'm so sorry that I was not very nice when I had to take this class, but it's really helped. So trying to make that connection between hands-on athletic training on the field and the classroom, and not really having the tools or I never went into it with that expectation. I always I have this education degree, but I'm never going to use it. I'm an athletic trainer. Never say never. I've been teaching longer than I was just an athletic trainer.
Wow, that's awesome. What is the best part of being an athletic trainer or being involved with the OATA?
People, the friendships.
meeting them.
I mean, you walk into this building of how many ever 1,000 people were here, and you still see hundreds of people that you've connected with throughout your life, and it's like no time has passed. I mean, you can just strike up a conversation and have a good laugh, and you know, you're all here for the same reason.
It's awesome. What does it mean to be an AT to you?
Been one for so long, it's hard to even identify with that. I think I always use my invisible quotation marks with students who come in who think, well, I'm going to major in athletic training, but I want to go to PA school, or I want to be a physician extender, or I want to go to chiropractic or PT or whatever. And I'm always like, it's okay to just be an athletic trainer, because it's a very fulfilling, rewarding career. I mean, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you need to make $1 million, you can have a very comfortable lifestyle where you make a difference in people's lives. So that's to me, you make a difference, you help people. It's satisfying and rewarding. You contribute to the world.
Looking back, would you change something about your career? If so, what and why?
Well, there's a few coaches I worked with that, if I had an opportunity to push the reset button, I would have avoided that, but I'm sure I grew as a person because of that experience, so
Right.
I don't think I would. We were pioneers. Linda Daniel and I were, the first couple she was the first woman at Ohio State. I was the first student under her guidance to become a certified athletic trainer. We didn't realize it, we were just doing something we loved and thought it was pretty cool, so if I could make it have been easier then, maybe I would have made that easier for us.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting all the battles for women to get involved, but it worked.
It worked. Did something. Were you an author, creator, or inventor of something?
And I laughed when I read this. It would be really sad to be known for this, but I got a fanny pack before anyone else did. I said I should have patented that because I couldn't stand the polyester coaching shorts and then jamming all that stuff in your pockets because you just felt disgusting. So we went we drove to Cincinnati one night to a professional meeting. I said, let's stop at the mall, I want to go in. So I went into some store and got this little red fanny pack. And they were like, oh, nice. And no one wanted one until they saw how efficient it was. And then they're like, we're going to get this.
Oh,
So I didn't invent anything, but I started that at my
you're the reason.
I'm the reason. I'm so sorry for that. But it came in really handy when I was pregnant and working football because I could have snacks. I mean, I would pull out a peanut butter sandwich. Athletes would come over to me and like, what have you got to eat today? I said, I'm not sharing.
Not sharing. Please give me a brief synopsis of your career and then also why you became interested in athletic training.
Okay. Can I tell you why I became interested and then it kind of goes
Yes,
from there?
absolutely.
When I was in high school, thought I knew I wanted to go into some kind of health profession. And my high school guidance counselors didn't really point us in any direction. So I went to Capital University because my sister did. And I figured I would transfer because I thought, okay, physical therapy, I can probably do that. So when I went to Capital, they just signed you up for classes. You don't have an option of what you're going to take. So they put me in physics, chemistry, and calculus my first semester. And when I almost failed out by October, it was like, that's not working out so well. So, I thought, I'll still apply. Of course, I didn't get into PT school. But I always thought, well, I'm going to transfer to Ohio State anyway and go to PT school. So that's when I met Linda Daniel. Actually, I met with Billy Hill first. Al Hart, who was the head athletic trainer, was unfortunately terminally ill, and I never got to meet him. So I met with Billy Hill, Mike Bordner, and Linda Daniel, and I thought, they kind of do some cool stuff. I think I'll just go to Ohio State and do this athletic training thing, and however I could figure that out. So that's how it evolved. I stayed at Ohio State and got my master's because Linda had her first child in November of 1977, and I graduated in December of 1977. So they hired me on as a graduate assistant teaching in the health ed department so that the women's sports could still be covered while Linda was on maternity leave. So I did that, and then my first job was at Bowling Green State University for 2 years. I was the women's athletic trainer there in this dark, dingy basement of the women's phys ed building. Pretty miserable. Had to really fight to get comparable health care for the women athletes. And so after the end of that first year, the women were treated equally. The program was co-ed. We had the same physicians, and so worked that out. And then the job at Miami University opened, and I knew Ken Wolfert from my thesis, the OATA founding you know, my research that I did with that, and went and interviewed, and I've been there for 34 years. So, and through that, went as an athletic trainer. As I said before, you know, became the program director on my first day on campus, and was the program director for 25 years. Was a combination athletic trainer educator for 17, and after 17 years with all the accreditation things, they were like, you need to be full time. After 25 years of doing that, I finally convinced the department chair. People go to college to be athletic training program director, so we need to hire one of them and I'll assist them. And they were like, you don't want to give it up? I said, yeah, please let me give it up. So for the last however many, 9 years, I've been assisting others as program directors in Miami. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How much was your first salary?
$10,000.
That's great. Mm-hmm. It's one of the higher ones.
I make a little more than that now, but
well, that's good. That's good. And then last question: would you explain how your practice or philosophy has changed throughout your career?
That was a tough one. I didn't have a quick answer for. I think I see the big picture now, in hindsight. But as a young professional, you know, I saw straight and narrow. There was an ankle to treat or a coach to deal with. Now I can look at the grand scheme of things, and things that were emergencies in my mind or crises then, you know, they aren't anymore. And I can kind of see how it fits together better or it doesn't. So I think I've been lucky that way now to be able to take a few steps back, and sometimes I can help younger people realize that at the time. I'm an assistant department chair in our kinesiology and health department in Miami too, so I don't have the, I like to tease, I don't have the doctorate. I still have the common sense of a good athletic trainer. So
that's better.
I'll bring the common sense to the table.